Now let me tell you about these filters. If you're a true American patriot, if you want to stop the global elite, buy John's friend. I don't know. Yeah, no. I haven't even watched Alex Jones. I don't know what it...
Well, let me tell you, Alex Jones orchestrated 9/11 and the January 6th insurrection.
The global elite. The shape-shifting lizards want you to believe that I was part of the January 6th attack on our government.
Real patriots watch football and punch their wives in the face. That's real American patriotism.
I don't want the teachers at school telling my kids about gay people.
I hate gay people. I don't want my teachers to say the word gay in front of my son, William Billiam George Washington Jr.
The global elite don't want you wearing tinfoil. They don't want you wearing tinfoil vests.
Tinfoil stocks are way up this year, thanks to Joe Putin.
If you're a real American patriot, buy tinfoil suits.
Tinfoil suits. You know, ironically, do they even sell tin foil? It's aluminum foil.
Oh my
now.
gosh, the freaking thing closed itself again. I
What?
swear. The emulator. Oh. It doesn't want to live, it wants to be dead.
That's because it's not Z-SNES, which
I can relate to it on that level, I suppose.
Okay. You need to change the source because it's still.
I did, yeah. Reload the page. It's still going to be a few seconds behind though.
All right.
So, I'm on Yoshi's Island today, and as I was talking about before, it's one of my favorite games ever. I've been playing it. I think I first got it in 4th grade. I was around 10. So this is a game I've actually been playing since. That would be like 17 years, yeah. And so I get to show off my Yoshi's Island skills.
Are you gonna continue from the beginning, or?
No, I'm gonna start where I was at. It's too easy. That's kid stuff.
All right.
Yoshi's Island is a game for adults.
That's very true. When I was a kid and I played it, it took me a very long time to beat this game.
Watch me die right here now. Watch me die in a stupid, ridiculous way after talking so much crap.
That's what happens. I'm so good at this. And
Yeah.
it really messes up.
Oh, that was weird. I've never seen it do that before. So, other than that super funny impromptu impression that we thought of on the spot, we actually did think of that on the spot. I'm not being sarcastic. It would have been maybe marginally funnier if we had thought of jokes in advance or something. I don't even watch Alex Jones. That's just stuff that I've heard other people make fun of him for.
I think that's how most people know of Alex Jones. It's just people talking about him. Because he's just such a wacky character. Oh, Alex Jones.
I've talked a lot of crap about him, but the thing is, he's been right about a lot of stuff. To give him credit where it's due, he may talk about interdimensional aliens and stuff, but he was also talking about the Fusion GPS scandal 2 years before Fox News was talking about it.
Sure. Did he mention any diseases that might become prevalent?
Did he? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
You know who did mention diseases that might become prevalent before it happened? Fauci did, back in a few years prior. I don't remember how many it was.
Well, all I know about Alex Alex Jones is that the TV said that he's a bad person, and that's all I need.
Yeah, they were hinting at COVID forever prior. There was this movie called oh my gosh, there we go. Yep, I died. There's this movie called Contagion, I think, in like 2011. That was about basically exactly what happened, or similar. It was this it was about a virus, a super deadly virus. The one in the movie was actually deadly, and
Actually deadly.
yeah, and
I mean,
it started in China because of it was like a bat DNA mixed with pig DNA, and then it reveals later that it was
well,
yeah.
they were just doing what the people asked for, because you would, in the early 2000s ish, a very common saying on Reddit is "we need a fucking plague." And now that we've gotten it, those same people are the ones who have toddlers.
If you're not double
tantrums.
vaccinated, you hate humans.
Have adult toddler tantrums of put your mask on in the middle of a
Excuse
store.
me, sir. Can you stand back a little bit? I'm trying to not die here.
Yeah. And of course, they took off the COVID trackers from all the news websites the moment Joe Biden was elected. Of course, I believe more people died in 2021 over 2020, so I guess, whatever plan he had didn't actually work.
Oh, well, he sure claims it does. Yeah, I saw him on a press conference the other day talking about, we inherited this horrible pandemic from Trump, and our plans have finally come to fruition to get this virus under control.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, he said something pretty similar to that. That was an artistically embellished version, but he claims that he has fixed the pandemic.
He fixed it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what he also fixed was the war on drugs.
Right now, or back in like when was that, the 80s?
That was, yeah. I mean, he is responsible for the crime bill that put all these black people in the jail, and that's the reason that jail sentences for owning drugs is so high. And
Well, he doesn't.
It's weird that like he's the anti-racist candidate apparently.
It's whatever the news tells people to believe. He just didn't want he didn't want jails to be
Lonely.
I was gonna say a racial jungle, but I guess he made jails into a racial jungle.
Yeah. Jails you can make into a racial jungle, but not schools.
Well, he has his priorities straight.
Yeah.
Biden knows, where the poor black people need help and where they don't.
It's so it's amazing to me that no one knows about him saying that. The racial jungle.
Yeah, it's weird how much they talked about Trump, talking about a married woman who he wanted to cheat on her husband with him, and for some reason you never heard anybody talk about the racial jungles.
Yeah.
I can't think of any reason that would be the case. They must have forgotten. They were lying. Cause
it's probably an alt-right conspiracy theory, actually.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all know that Trump stole the 2016 election.
Yeah. Not the 2021 though. That one was secured by a cabal. Oh my gosh.
By
That's
Facebook.
so
Facebook secured it.
A cabal of powerful elites helped secure Oh, it did give me a middle ring. Okay, good. I thought I was going to have to restart. You'll see what just happened in a second. It was horrible. A cabal of wealthy elites helped to secure the election from being stolen by Russian hackers again, like it was in 2016. And that's why they needed to count a whole bunch of ballots that may or may have not been real at 4 o'clock in the morning the day after election day.
Yeah. That's completely normal to do that.
Yeah.
I saw a YouTube video of some British asshole saying that it's mathematically possible, so therefore...
It's mathematically possible that Biden could have won the election fairly.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
He's a smug British man. He drank some tea and said, "It's completely possible."
It's literally 2020.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Oh, I just messed that bitch up.
But, according to
That was totally on purpose.
Richard Stallman, the 2016 election was stolen. Not from the Russians, but from the Republicans.
2016 was?
Yep, that's...
From the Republicans.
No, the Republicans stole it.
Oh, okay. I thought you said from.
There's no way the Republicans could win. I mean, I'm a leftist, and I know that my side will win because we cry and scream more.
Well, we're just right.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we couldn't be right.
The science is settled.
The science is settled that Biden won the election.
But in
Don't be
2016,
anti-science.
you see, 2016, the Republicans put in laws to prevent certain minority groups from voting, like illegal immigrants.
You know, when you have a whole group and they just happen to be of the same race, you just have to let them vote.
That's right.
Or it's racist. Come on.
Anyone
Come on,
in the
man.
world should be able to vote in the United States election.
It's true. You know, our country affects everybody.
That's right.
So we need to let everybody vote. In fact, the people who are affected more, like people from Africa and the Middle East, their vote should count for like more. And the like white people should only have like 3/5 or so
Yeah.
of a vote.
We'll call it an equity vote.
We need to have racial equity, guys. 3/5.
Yeah.
That's the least we could do.
That's the least we could do. The most you can do is you can let a black man fuck your wife. Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's the most you can do. I think even that is still just
That's true.
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You could clean off his battle spear afterwards. See, now we're gonna get mad.
Yeah, it's just a question of when. I have to start backing these up on like Gab or something. Everybody leave YouTube and go use Odyssey and Gab Video instead.
No, those platforms are racist. Don't use those.
That's true. Yeah, and
I checked the code. I checked their source code. It's racist source code.
even establishment Republicans agree that Gab is full of racists and anti-Semites.
Yeah, establishment Republicans like Mitt Romney. Now there's a true American patriot.
Mitt Romney is a Republican we can get behind.
That's right.
As a leftist, I appreciate Mitt Romney.
Unlike that clump.
Don't even say his name. It triggers me.
Borjobald Glorp.
Don't say his name.
Change your name.
Nope.
To Glimpse.
Stop. Listen here, Donnie. Hey, Donnie.
I just shat in my wife's mouth.
What do you think of that, little Donnie?
Now I have to get a divorce. Bet you feel real bad now, little Donnie.
This is all your fault, Donnie. Look at the state I'm in because of you. Look what you've done to me, Donnie. Are you happy now, Donnie? Oh, I should have gone up first and then come back to.
So I wanted to talk it. So right now there isn't much public discussion about this, but for quite a while, particularly 2016 and the 2018 midterms, there's a lot of talk about banning the ownership of AR-15 assault rifles. And that's the thing, is that, well, an AR-15 isn't an assault rifle, but, you know, like...
Isn't that what it stands for? AR? Assault rifle?
Well, yes, but that's not the point.
No, I'm joking. That's not... You knew that, right?
I know. It's on the light. Eugene Stoner made it, and, you know, it's a pretty popular design.
I was worried that you didn't know, and I was going to have to tell you on live stream. It wasn't actually... It doesn't stand for assault rifle. AR doesn't stand for assault rifle, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes, but...
So what is the definition of assault rifle?
An assault rifle is it's a gun that fires an intermediate sized cartridge, which the AR-15 does, but it also has select fire, which allows you to basically hold down the trigger, and then the weapon will repeatedly shoot.
Yeah.
But the thing is quite a bit in discussions is you'll see people on the right say, like, their arguments are that, oh, it's not an assault rifle, you dumb liberal, it stands for Armalite. But that's not what you should be fighting against. You're not supposed to, like, that's not the battle you want to win, is getting the definition correct. What you need to do is, like, yeah, the crux of your argument should be, well, you know, you shouldn't ban this weapon just because it looks particularly scary. But that's what I'm seeing is, you know, hey, this is an assault rifle, you need to ban it. Actually, it's not an assault rifle, you just have the definition wrong. It's like, who cares what the definition is? You know what they meant. Like, you need to be attacking the core reasoning behind the argument.
In general, on the right, you have to be careful about getting caught up in, like, distracting arguments. We were talking about the election as well a minute ago. A lot of more, I would say, mainstream conservatives were talking about how, like, mail-in voting is bad because, well, not many, but a few talked about stuff like, well, they're not, oh, I screwed that up. They're making voting available to people who aren't willing to go out and vote in person. They're like, that's bad. You should have to at least go to the local, where do they have it at usually? Wherever they're
school,
wherever they're at, whatever voting center. Like, okay, that isn't a good argument. First of all, anyone has the right to vote, and secondly, that's not why they want mail-in voting. They want mail-in voting because it's easy to rig. Okay, so don't be settling for small fry. Right, sorry, I distracted from your argument. Yeah,
No, that's
similar. It's tangential though. Yeah, you don't want to get caught up in the this or that. Yeah, well, technically it's an Armalite rifle. Yeah. I brought that up because of the joke opportunity, but yeah, that's not the argument you should focus on.
Yeah.
Was that all on that one?
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's a good number. That's a good score.
What is?
I got 88 out of 100.
Nice.
I don't know, that's just a number I like. I don't know why. There isn't any particular reason. Oh my gosh. That's what I get for making that joke. I'm just kidding, guys.
That makes me sad. You know what? A lot of people also have the wrong idea about your body.
This is a good one. I'm
Like
interested in this one.
you're not separate from your body. You're not like a little. You're not the Men in Black little guy in your head, just controlling everything like a big mecha. Like your body is.
Your brain,
It has
the way your
inputs
mind
into
works.
itself, I should say. Like it has loops inside of itself. You know.
Yeah. The way your mind works will be highly affected by what happens to your physical body
Yeah.
as well. Your lifestyle. A lot of people don't like to believe this, but the way you live your life will be reflected in the way your brain works.
Right.
Which may explain why people who go to the gym regularly are overwhelmingly right-wing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering why
Might just
that
be-
is exactly though. Is it like
I have some theories. I'm not a neuroscientist or I don't know, what else would it be? I'm not a,
psychologist?
yeah, not, biology isn't my main field of study, but I think you're, well, working out in particular kind of teaches you a lot of things about life. I think willingly enduring pain is something that teaches you a lot about life in ways that other things can't. Just being forced into pain is different. A lot of people take a lot of pride in just their circumstances, which if you have bad circumstances, like I'm sorry and stuff, but it isn't an achievement. You shouldn't like go around having that as the core of your identity. But willingly enduring discomfort is different. That is something to be proud of, and it changes the way that you think, I believe. It teaches you some core truths about life that what you get out generally reflects what you put in, and that enduring discomfort willingly will open opportunities to you and allow you to grow in ways that you otherwise would not be able to. So I think that it's something like that is the reason for that phenomena. Oh my gosh, it's going to kill me just because he went up and up.
I agree. I'm not sure what more to add to that. You could.
You say you're
Then
going to
again,
relate
it's like
that to.
it could be, you know, what's the actual causation? Because it could just be that, you know, right-wing people tend to have the mindset of, you know, like, I need to work on this before I. No, they might just be more driven to self-improvement. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I figured it out. Were we going to go any farther with that or relate it to any other groups of people who have mind and body phenomena affecting them?
No, but I think maybe it could present itself in how one might argue when there's a disagreement.
In the subject that I'm referring to?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Don't do it.
I was going to do it if you did, but we can refrain from, at least for the time being. I think it'll get there eventually.
Well.
Anyway, yeah. So when certain people may talk about how like their brain is separate from their body, or their mind is separate from their body, and perhaps that they believe themselves to be things other than what they physically are, and that's possible because the mind is separate from the body. May not be so, because the mind, as it turns out, is very hard to separate from the body. People aren't just meat computers, as a lot of them might like to believe.
Yeah.
How on earth?
even if we are computers, we don't act like we are, you know? Like, you
But-
still act like someone had the
But I mean,
choice to-
even if you're like a materialist and you don't believe in like the soul or whatever, we aren't like a machine where you can just have something that you like you can program, where you can reprogram yourself to do whatever. Like that's a thing that computers can do and people cannot do it. Like you're highly affected by a whole bunch of things other than just what you think and the ideas in your head.
Right.
In fact, the ideas in your head may reflect your lifestyle more than vice versa.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, what wouldn't affect your, like, self? I mean, because basically everything you do is probably going to induce some sort of hormonal change, if anything, right? So,
Well, nothing that's super significant. I think almost anything of significance that you do in your life has some kind of feedback loop to you.
right.
Did you ever see this video of, I think it was Jordan Peterson on some talk show?
Don't
And
say that, he's transphobic.
Don't speak his name!
That's another tactic they like to use, it's persona non grata.
Yeah, you mentioned Jordan Peterson and they're like, okay, can we not? Can we not?
Or Joe Rogan, like, Joe Rogan got in some trouble lately, and what they used against him was, like, he said the N-word in some context, like, once, like, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And despite this, he still had Daryl Davis on his podcast, who de-radicalized over, like, 200 KKK members.
Oh, the jazz guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's cool.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to it. I actually just know him from what he's done.
I did listen to his TED Talk once. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never actually listened to his music, though. I should go listen to his music.
This probably sounds like jazz.
You like jazz? Ha, I love the B movie. No, I'm not going to get my 30 stars anymore. Stand on top of one of the others.
I haven't actually watched the B movie.
Really? Oh, you missed out. It's the best. Oh, it's the best thing mankind has ever created, with the exception of Shrek. So, Jordan Peterson, they were talking about, like, can you, he was talking about, like, get your own house in order before you go out to change. That's a reference to a Bible verse, but he was basically saying before you try to have philosophy about how to change the world, you should figure out how to get your own life together, which is kind of his thing. He's the big, like, clean your room guy.
Yeah.
And I got 88 3 times in a row.
Were you shoving those pegs up that thing's ass?
You know, I was joking last time about how there's a lot of, like, rape-like innuendos in this game. That would definitely be another one. This is why I hate video games, because it's teaching men to do these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Boys who grew up on these kinds of games and 100%ed it 8 times would then become that kind of person who would do that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you're ever on a planetoid. Did you just beat it?
No, that's World 5, and it moved me to the final world where Bowser is. Maybe I'll beat Bowser during this stream. Actually, it's almost time to switch to you, I think.
Okay.
I'll do this level, and then we'll call it.
Righteous.
Oh, that's right, those guys don't hold you up anymore. Now everything's skeleton. This is too spooky for me, actually. Let's switch now.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Jordan Peterson was talking about how how you should, if you can't get your own life together, how maybe you shouldn't have, go out and be thinking of ways that you can change society, because you generally follow the same rules for yourself as well as for society, such as, I don't know, passing off blame and expecting other people to do things for you, for example, hypothetically.
Right.
And I think I may have skipped a step. You said that in response to a woman in the audience who said, like, can't we be involved, with not humanitarian, but like political movements, and follow political ideologies about changing the world, even if our own lives are not in order. And he says very explicitly, no, you need to figure yourself out first, and then you can start commenting on how to figure the world out, how to figure society out.
Yeah.
And the woman responded in that typical quintessential liberal way, with scoffs and laughter and stuff, like, oh, what is it? What is this white man talking about?
Another thing they like to do is they like to do personal attacks, like, oh, you're just saying that because you can't get laid. It's like,
Yeah, I think it's because they see other people do it and think that's, oh, I screwed that up. I think that's just like what's correct, what's moral, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I just screwed myself up. Those were probably all red coins. Oh well. Like that kind of stuff. Like you say something like, well, no, I think that you should get your own life in order before you go out and think of ways that the world needs to change. They're like, oh my gosh, like roll their eyes. What? Oh my god. Laugh loudly at each other, look at each other in disbelief. What? What? Yeah.
yeah.
That's how you argue. And it's okay to argue that way because you're right. As long as you're right, then it's okay to argue in like.
Well, how do you know that you're right?
Right. That's my point. Yeah.
Well, I know how you know.
I know that I'm right, so I can use any deception tactic I want in order to make the point I want to make.
Well, I know that I'm right because I support the right thing and I have the right opinions.
That's right.
The
Like
TV
how-
man said so.
Everybody agrees with me. My goodness.
All of my electric friends on the
All
radiation box told me that I have the right opinions. I have the right good opinions because I think a certain way about certain groups of people, and that makes me a good moral person.
Yeah. Like all the people who are at that protest that like Kyle Rittenhouse shot.
Yeah.
All the people who shot were really good people. And
And they've never done anything wrong.
yeah.
Prior.
So, even if you had done maybe a couple things wrong in the past, as long as you're like on the right side of political movements, you become a moral and good person. So
That's right.
if you've like,
That gives you free range to charge random people and tell them that you're going to kill them
yeah,
while running out.
and if you've maybe diddled a couple kids in the past, you can repent for that with some good deeds politically by voting for the right people and going to the right
He's
protests.
just emulating our politicians. They are moral people.
That's right.
That's what the news said.
Not Bill Clinton. Well, maybe Bill Clinton. I don't know. Were there kids with Bill Clinton?
I mean, he went to Epstein's Island.
Who else was there? Oh my gosh, I hate this part.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably all of them.
Probably all of them.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
We talked about Epstein's Island a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy. It's an alt-right conspiracy theory.
Yeah. That's like one of the things that you can talk to normies about is Epstein. I don't think it goes much further than he wasn't killed. Haha.
Do most? I don't know. I think they kind of memory hold it, but if you talk to someone moderate left, would they agree that he probably didn't commit suicide?
Yes.
Okay. I'd go farther than that, though. I think that he's still alive. I think they didn't even assassinate him. He's probably off on some other island or off in like the Alps or something at his summer home,
Yeah.
diddling kids as we speak. But you know, as long as you support the right political candidate, you know.
Yeah. Support the right political candidate, listen to the ADL, which definitely wasn't founded in memory of a child diddler.
It was
as
to
well.
protect a child diddler, wasn't it?
I don't know.
If I remember right. It was, one of their people was being accused rightly of that stuff, and they put it together
What do you mean
to
their people?
the people who largely comprise the ADL.
Could it be a certain group of chosen people?
Like people who they choose to be part of the ADL, the chosen people.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
So he was probably among the people who were chosen by them.
Do you remember his name?
And he was a child rapist, and the ADL was protecting him legally, and I think he got away with it.
But when the ADL says milk is a white supremacist dog whistle, you better listen.
I mean, you should just listen to them in general. You wouldn't want to be anti-Semitic, would you?
Anti-Semitic, racist, homophobic, sexist,
all the above.
Anti-speciesist.
And if you don't hate humans, you need to go donate to the ADL right now.
Yeah. I hate humanity.
Not that they
No, I won't kill myself.
Not that they hate. Not that the ADL needs a whole lot more donations, if you know what I'm saying.
Who's giving the ADL?
I don't know. They must have some wealthy people supporting them. I don't know who would, though. I can't think of any wealthy people who would support the ADL.
Could it be an ex-Nazi, perhaps?
Probably a Nazi.
Yeah.
Wait, no, the ADL is good.
Oh.
It could be
Ex-Nazi. He's not a Nazi anymore.
An ex-Nazi?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably just another average white person on Twitter who talks about how we need to not take colored people's spaces and turn down opportunities.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Take their spaces. Like Liberia. Is that the country?
Liberia? Oh, Rhodesia?
They sent a bunch of slaves to like some Eastern African country and said, here's your new country.
Oh no, wait, Rhodesia. I mixed that up. Rhodesia became Zimbabwe, I think. Liberia? Yeah, that's where they sent a bunch of slaves. You're right.
Yeah. Ready to switch?
Oh yeah. I finished that level. Yep. Let's go ahead and switch. Yeah.
Do the save state and all that crap.
Oh, it didn't. I thought it didn't turn the mouse off at first. That would have sucked.
That was okay.
It's all good, my dude.
Just realized it's not turned on. Yeah.
I hate homeless people. Just kidding. That was a joke.
That doesn't want to open. There it goes.
I don't hate any group of people. No matter what they do to me.
Okay, then just switch it on here when it opens.
Could it be
It already opened.
a night that is hollow?
Maybe we were the Hollow Knight all along. They have, when you talk to these people, they argue in those ways. Sarcasm. That's one of my pet peeves. People like
Shoot. Oh.
I'm gonna listen to it and make sure it didn't mess it up.
Probably did, yeah.
You would hope we would have this figured out by episode.
Well, your
4,
controller
I guess.
was working.
The controller's working now?
Well, yours was. I don't know. I think our audio's fine.
Probably should have verified that all worked.
Quit game. No.
No, I can't hear it.
Oh, crap. Give it a sec.
Okay, never mind, it's fine.
Yeah, okay. And we're back.
Did you find something that works?
Yeah, I just unplugged the mouse.
Okay. So I think they genuinely believe that that's like a good argument when you say something like, I think that a lot of people died in the Soviet Union. And they say something like, I believe a lot of people died in the Soviet Union. Come on, man. Give me a break. We've been through this. This has been debunked.
It's been
Go.
debunked, bigot.
Go to r/socialism and ask them. They can tell you. I can't tell you, but they can. I have outsourced my opinions to them. So if you want to know what I think, then just go consult them.
Yeah, educate yourself, bigot.
Educate yourself. I have educated myself. I now have the correct opinion. I don't need to know all of the arguments. Oh, I've forgotten about those guys. That's kind of cool.
They actually tried to block it.
Yeah, and he holds up the shield sometimes.
I'm past that now. I know what
That's
you're
right.
referring to.
Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about what you were doing like 30 seconds ago, probably. The knight guy who has a sword and shield. I'd forgotten about those guys.
This is my favorite video game man. His name is Hollow Knight. What the heck?
I think Hollow Knight is a pretty cool guy.
He fights aliens. Ah.
He fights bugs and doesn't afraid of anything. I can't tell where the time is on this computer. I don't know this operating system.
It has Windows on it.
What? Oh, you just have the taskbar hidden. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Linux one, and it had some weird OS that doesn't have the taskbar visible.
I like Linux. It's just not where it needs to be. It'd be usable though. Depending on what you're doing. If you're just doing like word processing, fine, use Linux. You know what I mean? But
I assume you're still in the boss battle now.
Yeah.
I believe in you this time.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I would like to move more to Linux, but there are a lot of programs that I still want to use that are not on Linux yet. I think as soon as all the stuff I really want or some reasonably good equivalent is on Linux, then I'll say goodbye to Windows forever. Especially Windows 11. Have you used Windows 11 yet?
No.
My goodness, if they could make Windows, if they could make Windows 10 any worse, they most certainly did.
What's wrong with it?
Just the
Oh.
user interface is horrible. It's like a mobile device on a personal computer. See, everybody loves mobile devices, right? You want a computer that's just like your mobile device.
Right.
That's what I want.
I want a dumbed down version of the machine that I had before.
Yeah, I want a computer that holds my hand and assumes that I'm stupid. That's why I have. That's why I originally favored Windows over Mac. Over Apple, I guess. Mac OS. That's what I want, for it to do everything for me and assume that I'm retarded.
Because I am.
Because I am.
That's why we're on the short bus. Da-da-da-da-da-da. See, this is why I don't have many friends.
If only we were normal, then we could be like out talking to girls and not doing autistic streams on the internet. That's what I would be. If I was normal, that's what I would be doing. I would talk to a girl and be normal and not drive people away from me immediately by being autistic. What else do we have? We've been rambling for 5 or so minutes now.
I don't know.
You're telling me about in cartoons and stuff they take, or in movies maybe, they take characters and ruin them by kind of altering whatever they are to fit into the
Yeah.
to fit under the blanket of like inner city sort of liberal-esque people.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it is like they see a character that they like, and then they want it for themselves, I guess, and then they make it like themselves. You know what I mean?
Is this like fan art on the internet, or is this
no,
like movies?
You know how like they remade Superman recently, right? And it's like, oh, now he's gay. It's more of a soft reboot, but
Oh, I just saw that you beat the thing. Very nice.
yeah, I just need to save. Did I get a power from that? I did.
I don't remember.
I wasn't paying attention.
Do you have the dash move now?
No.
There's some move where you can like do like a falcon punch kind of thing, and you need that, I think, to get through that one area last time where there's the floor that appears to be sort of crumbly, but you can't break it.
That makes sense.
So you can go back to that whenever you figure out how to do that, or when the game gives it to you. What power did it give you from that guy?
Did I get a power?
I don't know. I don't remember where you get it. It was a while ago when I played this, and I got through I got to maybe a little bit farther than where you are now.
Did they ever release Silk Song?
What's that?
It's supposed to be a DLC for this game.
I don't know. I didn't even finish this game, so.
Oh. Okay.
So we're talking about like movies. Oh yeah, you said Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just any character, and then, I mean, I'm not against it, but like, why haven't you made your own characters? Like,
Yeah.
Like they made Annie black, which I don't care about Annie, and I hate the original musical, but it's like you made her black.
Oh, I watched the original movie when I was a kid with like the. I think it's a famous actress, the little girl. I can't remember who she was though, but
The red-handed one?
yeah, the main character, Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Is that how she started? Or with...
it was. I think she was somewhat well known. I can't remember who it was though, but and the bald guy. Yeah, and they made a new one. I didn't watch it, but they made them all black, right?
Yeah.
They have like, what was his name?
They made Spider-Man, like...
That's right.
Miles
Yeah.
Morales.
Someone in my family, not my immediate family, but someone in my extended family who moved over to the eastern states a few years ago, which probably explains it, was talking about like, they're so upset about every time they make a character black. Like,
Why aren't there
Deal
any
with
good
it.
black characters to start with, though? Why do you have to change an old one.
Which, yeah, that's what you were talking about. Like, go ahead and make a character that is like an inner city liberal who goes to Starbucks every day and loves John Oliver.
Yeah.
But how come you can't think of an original character that people will like? How come you have to capitalize on some character that was created 50 years ago and already has an established fan base, and then
Well, they'll tell
reform
you
them
like
into...
representation is important, and it's like I haven't actually heard a reason why. Like I've heard like, oh, well, my cousin who is XYZ saw this and they really liked it. It's like that. Is that the reason to do it? Because your cousin, you know?
Because because if you don't have representation in a culture, then it'll make you sad, and it'll make you like commit more crimes, for example.
Yeah.
Or maybe like
We never had any.
if you're a member of the LGBT BBQ or whatever they call it, and you don't see any characters in a show that you like, that represent you, that empower you, then it might like make you be more likely to commit suicide. That's the reason that they commit suicide, you know. It's not because of like mental illness or something. It's because there weren't any gay kids on like Mr. Rogers or something.
Yeah. I mean, why do they commit suicide?
Because
Probably because they change their bodies and then they find that it doesn't make
Yeah,
them
you're like-
happy, and then they like permanently change their bodies, and now it's like, oh look. Anyway,
yeah, let's just go ahead and dig into that one. Yeah, it's most likely because you did an unalterable or an irreversible surgery to your body that totally affects a core attribute of your human functions. Like,
so I don't understand this though. Is if gender, which the concept of gender identity was created by John Money, who was a pedophile doctor, and that's where that comes from, is the
Yeah.
theory of gender identity.
yeah,
And he proved himself wrong, I think, considering
his experiment
David Reimer
failed about as epically as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, he detransitioned, so raising him as a girl clearly didn't turn him into a girl. But anyway,
And then he and his brother both killed themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but anyway,
maybe
if
messing around.
gender is all in your head, why do you need to change the physical, sexual characteristics, like the biological characteristics? Why do you have to do that if it's all psychological? I guess this loops back to the you are your body
Yeah.
topic that
Yeah, we were going to. This is what we said we were maybe going to not talk about, so that we don't like get our lives ruined by a liberal mob or whatever.
Well, it's not like I hate anyone. It's just like I think
Of course you hate
these
them. You
things
don't
need to
agree
be,
with them. That's
like,
the same
talked
as
about.
hating. You don't validate them. That's the same as like murdering them, basically.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. They make a two-pronged argument. Is this kind of what you were talking about? Which the two arguments are not related to each other. One is like gender is just fluid, and you are whatever you feel like, and the other is some people have different chromosome patterns. Educate yourself, bigot. Don't you know?
Yeah, the chromosome pattern.
About-
I think that's just like a red herring to throw people off. It's like, oh, what do you call this then?
Well,
Bigot.
no,
And then
it's
most of these people don't even like.
the point is it muddies the argument. They're like, oh, you say there's only XX and XY, but actually there's people with XXX and they're valid, you bigot. Okay, well that's a genetic disease. Most of those people, all people with these different chromosome patterns, first of all, often die before reaching adulthood. And the ones that aren't are sterile, pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
So it's not a type of person, it's a disease, okay? So, and secondly, it's unrelated. So that's what I'm talking about. They make that argument only to make you doubt, to muddy the water. but it's not even related to their point, which is that they're saying you can be whatever you feel like.
Yeah, but these intersex people, what you're talking about, if you have like a chromosomal disorder, they aren't trans. They're not trying to become something else. Like
how many of those people could you even find who identify as whatever?
Well, I've heard it's like 1 in 100, so it's not actually that uncommon. But usually,
people who have a genetic disorder to
if they'll have
identify
a
as something.
problem, it's like 1 in 100.
All right.
Although that could mean like any chromosomal problem. But anyway,
that's true.
It usually doesn't manifest. Like the manifestation rate is like 1 in a million.
Of the chromosome issues?
Yeah, like XXY or XYY. XYY, like you don't even see. Like it makes you gain weight a little easier.
Oh, I must have been mistaken. I thought that most of them did manifest. Or at least it manifests in like deformities and makes you
well, so this is coming from
have a weak immune system and stuff.
Morality class, and they said it was 1 in 100, which could be wrong. But yeah, people like to massage numbers a lot of time.
What I recall from reading biological papers on this and from a biology class, this may be only some of them. I'm gonna have to go verify this now because like what you're saying kind of contradicts what I said.
Well,
a number of them are fatal, and a number of them, or most of them, I think, cause you to be sterile. So the point is that it isn't like it isn't another sex. You aren't a third sex by having one of these chromosome deformities.
Right. Well, look, it came from my class, so that very well could have been a similar definition. You know how like they sometimes use those, like any chromosomal, miswrite, whatever you call it. Because usually these intersex people, you're talking about the gender chromosomes, that usually represent an XY or XX.
Yeah.
I don't remember which number it is.
Oh, right. There could be many other chromosomal disorders that affect any of the other non-sex chromosomes.
Which I think is kind of the reason why you have two sets. It's like, hey, if this one doesn't work, then this backup will work.
That sounds right to me. Yeah, not my forte study though. Yeah, that's probably exactly what it was. They probably included all chromosome related disorders in order to pump the numbers because they're super rare. It's one in something in 5 or 6 digits.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm looping around.
I'm not sure.
To look up a walkthrough.
Gotta go figure it out during the week before we do the next one.
Yeah. My plan was to kill the boss, and I did it on the first try. So, okay. I didn't expect
that was good. Yeah.
It's weird because I keep jumping between controller and keyboard. I thought keyboard felt better. This isn't too bad. Maybe it's just like knowing the weight of a character in a platformer. I don't know.
We're at about an hour.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, if you're lost anyway, maybe we could wrap it up. Yeah. Anyway, there are a lot of things that the TV or that your college will tell you.
It's the same.
And just because the experts say it, and just because the TV people say it, and just because all your friends say it,
information vector,
and just because people will be mad at you and try and get you fired from your job or expelled from your school for saying it, does not necessarily mean.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I think in the long run, what you need to do is you need to stand up for what you think is correct. I mean, like, don't be, like, rude, but...
Yeah, you can be... Someone I was listening to today was talking about how we can have... Ideally, we could have boundaries without them being battle lines. But I think that may be an optimistic idea to have at this point. Like, maybe you could strive to have that with each interaction you have with people, but the fact is most people on the other side of the aisle are going to say that you're evil and that, you know, you need to go to jail for having your opinion. You need to get, like, your life ruined for having your opinion, because your opinion is evil and bad, and you're ruining people's lives by having your opinion. Oh, you're heading towards the, oh, sorry, I'm reacting to what you did a while ago, so you probably are already attempting it.
Yeah, I just don't have any extra attacks, I don't think, unless I just missed whatever pickup.
Have to look at the controls. I think it tells you when you get the new attack, though.
Yeah. Well, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah. You're ruining people's lives by having your opinion.
Well, it's not even an opinion, it's like I'm trying to just question things, because, I mean, I think I just...
Yeah, the science is settled. The moral science is settled on this issue.
Yeah.
All the experts in the field of moral studies agree. And you, by questioning it, are killing trans people.
Yeah, we need
trans
just
and
don't
LG.
question any presented narrative to you.
You
Just
are
let me
literally
accept.
literally killing people.
I think that isn't actually that uncommon, though, to just accept what you're told. You know what I mean?
It's convenient. You won't get fired from your job or expelled from your school.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think most people, everyone except for alphas and autists, generally tend to assume that what most people, especially the experts around them, are saying are true. So as long as, if hypothetically you were a wealthy, powerful person or a group of wealthy, powerful people and you wanted everybody to believe a certain thing, then you could just get all of the people in positions of influence to regurgitate whatever it is you want people to believe over and over, and it would probably be widely successful. Put it in the movies, have like political groups that talk about it and such.
Yeah, I think...
That's what I would do, hypothetically.
I remember in class, though, I think anytime I questioned the validity of something, like, my professors would get upset with me.
Is this like your morality class or like science class?
This is communications. So, like, for some reason in communications it came up, like, oh, men and women didn't love each other before, and, like, relationships didn't involve love.
In the past?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not entirely sure this is correct, because, like, in the past you had to work like 70 hours tilling a field, and it's like, I'm not gonna do that for some lady that I'm like only so on, you know what I mean?
And then how do they know that? Like, did they go back in time and interview them? I assume it's based on like journals or something.
Yeah. Well, I guess love was invented in the early 30s.
Love was invented in the 60s, man. When the Beatles introduced the idea.
Yeah.
When
John Lennon.
When John Lennon wrote about it. Now John Lennon, now that was a guy who knew how to love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His love was brutal.
He loved he loved with a bit of umph.
Yeah.
He put some kapow on that love.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when love
He
started.
liked to apply his love directly to the face. Anyway, yeah. John Lennon beat his wife, and so did Jimi Hendrix, and someone from Led Zeppelin had sex with a 14-year-old girl.
Jimi Hendrix beat his wife?
That's what I've heard.
Damn.
Does that bother you?
I know that. Yeah. I knew about the Led Zeppelin thing. Thing is, though, there have been a lot of those. There have been a lot of rock stars and underage girls.
I'm sure it still happens. Like,
of course.
Yeah, I'm 18. Here's my fake ID.
You know, it's kind of. I'm not saying I disagree with age of consent laws or anything. First of all, in America, it's higher than it is in most
What's
of the world.
deal with age of consent?
All right, here we go on this one. All right, this will be the last one. We'll do this and then call it. Since we're already getting canceled anyway, we may as well kick this beehive as well. I'm not a pedophile or anything. I'm just saying a girl doesn't become attractive the moment she turns 18, and she wasn't like the moment before, okay?
Yeah.
There's a bit of a gradient involved. If you want to claim that you're only attracted to girls like within 2 years of your own age, fine. But don't be like, oh, she's 18. Oh, I know what I'd do to her. And then be like, oh, dude, she's only 17, man. Come on. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, in the olden days, that wasn't a thing, first of all, which I know that's not the arbiter of morality, but like people would be surprised at how people are nowadays if they could see it. And sometimes a girl who is attractive after she's 18 has a bit of a gradient that happens after puberty when they start developing secondary sexual characteristics. So,
Yeah.
where's I going with that?
I don't know, but I know that I developed pretty slowly.
I
Pretty
developed
slowly.
somewhat quickly. I was already somewhat tall when I was in like middle school. Anyway, so yeah, it's different depending on the person. My little brother didn't. My first brother is almost the same height as me now. When I was like 19 and he was 17, he was like a foot shorter than me. So it's kind of interesting, even within a family.
Must be social differences. Why is it?
So every time some rock star gets in trouble for banging like a 16-year-old groupie, and everybody's like, oh, we need to cancel him, I'm kind of whatever. And it's a lot of them. It's probably a comfortable half, and that's just the ones that people know about. 14,
Like
yeah,
half of
that's
musicians or half of instances.
so famous musicians. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it's a lot of them. And if they did something illegal, then they can answer to the law, all right? I'm not morally obligated to stop listening to somebody because he was like sexting with a 16-year-old, all right? 15, 14, that's pushing it. 13, yeah, he's a piece of shit. But like, it's like, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, he's the devil because he banged a 17-year-old. First of all, that if he's like in England, if it's an English guy, which Led Zeppelin would have been, like the age of consent there. Nowadays, I don't know what it was in the 70s, but back then it was like, well now it's like 16, I think. So it's like, are we gonna say that English people are pedophiles? It's like the point of the law is that...
Yeah, I guess in Japan he's in the clear.
Japan is kind of weird. It has a different federal law, and then their prefectures have different laws.
Yeah, like it's one of the cities that the age of consent is 13 or something.
I think the federal law is 13, so that's like the absolute minimum, but then in most of the country it's higher. It's like 16 or 17 at least.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 18 actually. 18 is pretty high though. There aren't very many countries that have it at 18.
It doesn't really matter because
Anyway, my point is...
no one's having sex in Japan anymore.
My point is, the point of the law is not when does a youth become attractive. It's when do we agree that they're mentally developed enough that we open the floodgates for older 20 or 30-year-old. It's mostly guys on girls, not all, but yeah, when do we allow the older guys to have at them and try to like coerce them into having sex with them or whatever.
Yeah.
So 18 is probably reasonable. Could honestly even be higher maybe. That doesn't mean though that if you say a 17-year-old girl is attractive that you're a pedophile. Like that, it doesn't follow. They are unrelated.
Right. A lot of people misconstrue it though. It's like, the law is what's preventing you. It's like, well, the point of the law is to protect young people from being taken advantage of. I think that's generally the idea. And so if a young person lies to a musician, well, actually, I should probably look at the exact scenario because maybe this isn't what happened. And
Yeah, maybe
like knew.
maybe they kidnapped her and took her to their island or whatever. But yeah, that's that's definitely a thing that could happen though. Like you see all these, I've seen a bunch of pictures of girls like on, what was it? Girls on the internet like beg John Mayer or something who's like 40 now to come and bang them. And
It's John Mayer.
John Mayer,
Yeah,
the pop star.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's been famous for quite a while. I'm surprised, but he's this kind of pop rock star.
Mm.
He's pretty cool, and he's very popular with the girls. He just fits into that niche. It's probably the genre of music. Yeah, a lot of young girls, like 13, 14, being like, oh yeah, I totally would get with John Mayer if I got a chance. So obviously that's a thing that could happen, especially back in the 70s. A 14-year-old girl could tell a rock star that she's 18, and he'd be like, oh, well, looks close enough to me.
Yeah, I think legally speaking, the responsibility is on.
Yeah, I don't think it holds up in court.
Like she lied.
It'd be hard to
about her
prove.
age. Yeah,
But
sucks, bro. Time
Yeah.
for 20 years.
that's what you get for being a degenerate and going around banging anything that walks.
Yeah.
Not that it's fair, but if you weren't doing that in the first place, then it wouldn't be a problem. I know people are going to say that I'm a pedophile or whatever because I said this. Look, it's a thing that bugs me. I don't like when people define things wrong. It's a pet peeve of mine. I personally would probably not date an 18-year-old. My limit, and there's no reason not to say, I'm 27, and I would go down to maybe like, I don't know, 22 maybe. Kind of depends on their personality though. A lot of girls that young still seem like teenagers to me a lot of the time.
I don't know what makes. Is it just having kids that makes you act like an adult?
Well, it depends on the person. There are some people who still act like a teenager even in their 30s or 40s. There are some people who are very mature when they're a teenager. I thought I was. I don't think I actually was, but I sure thought so. But yeah, it kind of depends. It's not a super consistent thing across all people, but you have to define it in the law somewhere. You have to think of a rigid line somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, well,
Alright, let's.
Jeff is lost now. He has to figure out what to do over the next week. So, to anyone who's still here and hasn't called the police yet to report us for the flurry of hate crimes that we committed.
I forgot to mute my phone.